Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're doing well and that you are all having a great day. To start things off, Kava Labs, the world's first interledger solutions provider enabling interoperability and liquidity to blockchains, wallets and exchanges, is designing a stablecoin named USDX. The stablecoin is pegged to the US dollar and it will be collateralized with the XRP cryptocurrency. The USDX appears like the MakerDAO, however, it is built on Cosmos, a new blockchain protocol that uses or makes use of Tendermint BFT for consensus. It also has a hub and spoke model of cross-blockchain interoperability that emphasizes composability and self-sovereignty of application-specific blockchains. Kava Labs said it believes a major financial function of Cosmos is the offering of decentralized, pegged assets like Bitcoin and other crypto-native assets, and so it is a reason that it calls it USDX at the moment. Kava Labs is designing a blockchain on the Cosmos ecosystem for a collateralized debt position, or a CDP. XRP sidechains on the USDX are designed for previous efforts on Tendermint based on sidechains. The one-way XRP pegged stable sidechain based on the Tendermint BFT consensus protocol gives decentralized clusters of validators the advantage to man a reserve of XRP in a sidechain environments. The takeaway from all of this should be that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is the first stablecoin that's going to be based off of XRP. I think there were some other ones that were pegged to the price of Bitcoin and Ethereum in 2018. I can't remember exactly what they're called anymore. They were in the news for a day, and then they kind of completely slipped away. It was someone like mimicking the price of, it was called like wrapped Bitcoin or something like that, like WRAPPED, and then Bitcoin. And I think there was also like a wrapped Ethereum. I think they were trying to do this to mimic the price of them through the usage of other coins. And a lot of people in the crypto community, myself included, when the news was released, we were kind of like, okay, we already have a Bitcoin, we already have an Ethereum. What's the point of mimicking their price with another coin, token, whatever the case might be? I think this might be, if I'm not mistaken, it has to be the first stable coin that is going to be based off of XRP. I think they're also, it says it somewhere around here, yeah, they're also funded by Ripple Spring, which is something that they also created in 2018. 2018 was a lot of development and funding rounds and money kind of floating around the cryptocurrency space. What ended up happening for Ripple in particular, the company, is that they kind of branched out into smaller places. Obviously, the main core company is still there, but I think they were looking for other ways to kind of find use cases for the actual XRP token. So I assume as Kava was also funded, or, you know, Ripple participated in a funding round for Kava, this is probably why XRP is going to be used as a, or rather, have a stable coin collateralized by XRP. Anyway, quite interesting. Let's see exactly how that ends up turning out. As of now, what we've seen is that many stable coins are usually pegged to fiat currencies, or like the US, mainly the US dollar. And I think we have like a couple that are pegged by the euro, but usually we only see USD as the main normal peg for stable coins. Next up, major crypto exchange known as Bitstamp has launched an investigation after a large Bitcoin sell order heavily impacted its order book. This is what they said a couple days ago. Bitstamp reported an execution of a large sell order of Bitcoin to US dollars a couple of days ago. While the company has not specified the details of the transaction, the price of Bitcoin had plummeted from about 20%, from around $7,800 to around $6,250 in less than 30 minutes, according to data from trading analytics platform TradingView. Briefly after the crash, Bitcoin's price had surged back but stabilized below $7,400. Bitstamp reported that their platform was operating properly as designed. Here's the actual chart right here. One of the main topics, and it was a very weird year as well as 2018. It was very odd. It was like a euphorically disastrous year. Everyone was very much in the mindset that the cryptocurrency space was going to go back, but we had an enormous amount of situations daily in the cryptocurrency space where we received an enormous amount of bad news, and we were pretty sure after at least half the year had been done that a lot of people, whoever they might be, people believed that they were whales, governments. No one really knows for certain that they were doing everything that they could to kind of lower the price of cryptocurrencies and also to destroy the price of Bitcoin to lower its price as low as possible. People thought that people could have either been lowering the price of Bitcoin to either buy for themselves, you know, you want a lower price, therefore you can buy more with the over-the-counter trading, or it could have been simply governments around the world who did not care for cryptocurrencies, and therefore they were also trying to destroy the price in their own way. And for those of you who may be rolling your eyes or sucking your teeth and saying that's not completely possible, you can Google it. There was a situation in the beginning of 2018 where everyone was completely shocked, and I'm surprised that it didn't make news all over the place as well, where the Polish government had actually paid, I think, 2 or 3 YouTubers to make negative videos on cryptocurrencies. And then for some reason, the actual Polish government came forward and like apologized for it. It was very, very odd. You can Google it. Like, you can even do it right now. Take out your phone, take out your tablet or whatever, and like look for it. It's very, very odd. Type in like Poland YouTube Bitcoin manipulation. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it. The Polish government had hired people to make YouTube videos about like how they had lost money with Bitcoin, how it was so bad, how it was a scam and all this other stuff, because they were trying to lower the price of everything. This is what when I talk about these countries who just don't want to kind of progress forward, this is exactly what it comes down to. So what a lot of people, if you remember last week as well, I kept on saying that there was no reason for Bitcoin to be below $10,000 at this point anymore. There was all speculation aside, like we know that there are at least 150 companies around the world who are using Bitcoin, going to be using Bitcoin, preparing something along Bitcoin, going to be building on top of Bitcoin. We had news that Microsoft was going to be also building on top of Bitcoin. Bitcoin should not be below $10,000. There's no real speculative number below $10,000 that really makes much sense anymore, because we know that there are tons of people. I even see the comment section in my channel, just my channel alone, people talking about they own 1.8 Bitcoin, 3.2 Bitcoin, half a Bitcoin. This adds up very quickly when you look at the amount of people who are actually subscribed to my channel or even just watch my videos on a daily basis. And that's just my channel, and that's just one little focal part of the cryptocurrency space. So when you talk about manipulation, there was something that also happened during 2018. It happened around 3 times throughout the course of the entire year, is that there were very rich crypto owners, people call them whales, that realized that all they had to do was move cryptocurrencies around, and it would actually affect the price of Bitcoin, because people were very afraid that these coins were going to be sold off. There were, like I said, at least 3 times that I can remember off the top of my head. There was one time where someone simply moved, I think it was 10 to 15,000 Bitcoin from one anonymous wallet to another. I didn't even go to a cryptocurrency exchange, and the price dropped because people were afraid that why were these coins moving? Why would you be moving this many Bitcoin at one time? Whatever the case might be. So what we had during the beginning of 2019, for those who kind of remember, is that old tactic from 2018 wasn't working anymore. So what people started to do is they started to send very large amounts of Bitcoin to cryptocurrency exchanges in an effort to kind of scare people. If you have 50,000 Bitcoin and you send 50,000 Bitcoin to a cryptocurrency exchange when it was in your private wallet, many people think this person is planning to sell off all 50,000 or whatever the actual case might be. This was also another issue. 2018 was insane, where people were simply sending their money, their cryptocurrency to an exchange, and they were placing like fake sell orders. So like it was a sell order for something that would never be matched, beat, it would never simply hit the number that they were trying to sell at, whatever the number they had, simply, whatever. But people were looking on the order books and they saw that someone had 35,000 Bitcoin that they were trying to sell off at a certain price, and it spooked the market. Completely insane. So what the people from, what is this, Bitstamp, what they think happened, or rather they're looking into it to see exactly what ended up happening, because it was a sell order. It led to a liquidation of around $250 million of long positions on BitMEX. It was a sell order for 5,000 Bitcoin at $6,200. This scared a lot of people for whatever the reason might have been. A lot of people think that what happened was, and this is, once again, we know that this happened, but the speculation lies in the fact that people think that the person must have clicked the wrong number and maybe meant to sell at 8,200, which is the kind of the level that we were probably going to hit. And therefore, when they hit 6,200, this is why everything sold off. All the other buy positions got filled, and then the price immediately shot back up once again, and then we were kind of trending sideways. I think we're actually around 7,900. So the main issue that I have, and I can't stress this enough, is that I don't know who did this, obviously, but I have grown weary of the amount of people in the cryptocurrency space, and I would not be shocked at all, and I mean this in the complete, like, the most honesty ever, if there had been one of those major analysts out there who had done this on purpose. There were so many people calling. I said this last week. There were so many people who came out of the woodworks out of nowhere, and they were like, no, Bitcoin's going too high. No, 8,000 is too dangerous. No, the price is definitely going to fall back down. Do you remember the amount of people who were calling for a sub $6,000 Bitcoin, for the amount of people who were saying that Bitcoin was definitely going to fall below 7,000. Don't you think it's kind of odd that we had at least three major I'm not saying their names. You probably know exactly who they are. Three main people who were talking about, oh, the price is definitely going to dip down. And then it spread like wildfire through social media and on Twitter. And all of a sudden, the price just happens to fall below, like, dramatically. Like, what they were waiting for, whoever did this, I don't think anybody's... If I had 5,000 Bitcoin, if I had 300 Bitcoin, and I was placing a sell order, I'm pretty sure I'd look at the screen for a solid 5 minutes and make sure that my 6 was supposed to be an 8, or my 8 was supposed to be a 6. I don't think that anybody trading this much amount of money would make such a ridiculous mistake. Maybe they couldn't, maybe their keyboard keys were broken, maybe they just didn't, maybe the numbers were swapped. I feel like anybody selling off 5,000 Bitcoin knew exactly what number they were trying to sell at. This person was trying to scare the market to dump back down. Luckily, we live in a more so of a logic-based cryptocurrency world right now, where people realize, hey, that's completely, something's wrong. The price is too low. Let me buy back in. And this is why, once again, we are floating around this number the next week. Anyway, the point is, I have my own feelings as to why these things are happening. There's an enormous amount of manipulation happening. And I want to say normally it just takes place between governments and whales. I don't know if they're the same entity, if they're the same person, if they're all working together, but it's a little boring. That entire story is kind of weird, and I mean, I understand. I don't agree with, but I understand why someone would want to manipulate a market. Once again, keep all of this in mind. We are entering a world where cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin especially, are going to be probably used every day on a worldwide basis in some form or another over the next 5-10 years, what have you. So they manipulate, or are trying to manipulate, the prices to push them further so that they can gather up more, because many of us are expecting a $100,000 Bitcoin, whether that be this year, next year, 2, 3, 4 years. At some point is going to happen. So we've seen manipulation before in other markets. It's just that, like I said, it's a little annoying. That story is kind of completely old. I think one of the greatest moments was when the market actually shot back up immediately, and the market has kind of completely recovered, because this was a load of crap, whoever did this. So I'm not sure exactly how far their investigation is going to go. But please, no one out there, stop. I can't tell you not to be scared, but there are so many people out there who are desperate to be correct. There are so many people who want the prices to go back down just so they can say that I told you so. I've seen the last 3 days, the amount of people on Twitter, on Reddit, on different forums, on all over the place, talking about, yeah, Bitcoin's definitely going to dip back down to 3,200 before we shoot back up to 15,000. And I'm like, where are you getting these numbers from? Like, what world are you living in where you've made 35 other predictions before and they've all not come true, and people still pay attention to the stuff that you say talking about technical analysis? No one knows what's going to happen in the cryptocurrency space. We've lived in a world where people can transfer crypto from one wallet to another, and they can drop the price by 9, 10, 11, 12%. No one knows what's going to happen with the prices. Please stop trying to pretend that you know what you're doing because you're looking at a chart and you're looking at red numbers. There was somebody before, I kid you not. They made a video, and my friend was like, "Dude, you gotta watch this. It's so crazy." It was about an 8-minute video. I watched it, and the guy's main point was, okay, you see this right here? This means that we're probably, okay, the price is either going to go down or it's going to go up, or I think for the next week we could trend sideways. And I was like, did you expect the price to go backwards? Like, what was the fourth option? Like, where else would the price have gone? Like, if the price is going to go up or down or continue sideways, that seems a little, there's only 3 options of where the price is going to go. Anyway, this is a topic, if you couldn't tell, that touches me very deeply, because it's just, Remember those 3 guys who used to make the videos standing next to like a Lamborghini, and they would write on, I don't know if they deleted their channel. You can find, or rather, whatever, you were able to find it before. I didn't even know their names. It was 3 guys standing next to like sports cars, and they had like a chalkboard next to them, and they were writing like arrows pointing up, talking about, yeah, this coin's definitely going to go up. It could go down, but it's probably going to go back up. And I was like, what? Who is watching this video? And they would have like 150,000 views per video. I don't know. Please always do your own research, and even then, just do more research. Anyway, let's move on. My goodness. Next up, U.S. Representative Tom Emmer plans to reintroduce a bill that would benefit taxpayers who hold cryptocurrency resulting from blockchain network splits, otherwise known as hard forks. Emmer revealed his intention to reintroduce the safe harbor for taxpayers with forked assets. Did you ever think in your life there would be a bill introduced called safe harbor for taxpayers with forked assets? You didn't. First announced in 2018 during a panel on the relationship between government and technologies, and also at Consensus 2019 on Monday, the Minnesota congressman was joined on stage by Chamber of Digital Commerce president and founder Priyan Boring, Fidelity Investments Deputy General Counsel David Foreman, and CoinDesk Advisory Board Chairman Michael Casey. For his part, Emmer reaffirmed his commitment to supporting the development and use of blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, and bemoaned the complex network of regulators that the industry must navigate, pointing to the CFTC and the SEC and others who all have bits and pieces of the regulatory picture, but have failed to provide regulatory certainty. He indicated that Congress's job is getting government in line such that the blockchain industry can generate new opportunities and innovators in practice. The certainty that Emmer and his blockchain caucus, co-chaired by Representatives David Schweikert and Darren Soto, have sought to provide has come to in the form of many measures like proposing that crypto miners should not be classified as money transmitters. For those who don't get it, little quick refresh. The U.S. is very far behind when it comes to cryptocurrencies. You can argue with me all you want. There's a reason why we've seen many congressmen, U.S. representatives, and other people from the industry coming forward, even people from Coinbase and Ripple coming forward, and they're like, hey, can we have some type of rules and regulations? Can we know what's a security and what's not a security? Can we figure out how we're supposed to be taxed? Because as of right now, the SEC, the CFTC, and the IRS all claim that cryptocurrencies are either money, commodities, or securities. And no one has any proper jurisdiction, not saying that they should. Whatever. The fact is that the U.S. government is saying that someone has to control it, someone has to be blah, 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 blah. But they all have very different ways of kind of saying what's going on. Part of the really big problem is that when it comes down to the nitty gritty of it, we are in a situation right now where I mentioned this before, maybe a year and a half ago. There's a lot of stuff happening in the cryptocurrency space right now, and a lot of people who are getting very heavily into the cryptocurrency space, and this is why we have a bill called Safe Harbor for Taxpayers with Forked Assets. It comes down to the fact that if you are a money management service and you, in 2015, bought Bitcoin for your clients, let's say you bought 10,000 Bitcoin, and over the course of the next 2 years, you realize that your money that you had bought for your clients, your cryptocurrencies, are now forked about 16 times. They gave birth to Bitcoin Cash, SV, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin Platinum, Bitcoin Red, Blue, and Green, which I think are all actual forks. I think there's also Bitcoin Private and a couple of other ones. So what ends up happening is that not only do you have to find a new custody solution for these other forks for your clients, but the IRS and everyone else is trying to tax you and your clients because your cryptocurrencies, something that you bought for them 2-3 years ago, now has new coins resulting from it, which was a very big issue in 2017 when Bitcoin Cash came to light. A lot of people were like, hey, what do we do with this? How do we declare this to the IRS? There were a lot of people who had around like 10, 20, 30,000 Bitcoin around that time, obviously, and they pretty much made tens of millions of dollars overnight. It was free money, and no one knew exactly what to do with it. So, and even as it stands right now, this is not the first bill of its kind to be introduced by someone within the United States. There's also an issue right now where the people from Bakkt, the people from Gemini, and the people from Fidelity, I think they're all working in their own little separate corners, trying to make sure that eventually in the future, this is why we also had news last week that there are major companies who are now going to be accepting cryptocurrencies as a form of payment. The problem is, within the United States, when you buy something with your cryptocurrency, stupidly enough, it counts as you selling your cryptocurrency, and therefore you are supposed to write this down on a piece of paper, and you're supposed to be taxed on this actual movement of your crypto, which makes no sense because the point is that we can use it as a payment option or use it. This is why we're on the precipice of a world where people are just going to stop caring about all these like laws and rules and stuff like that, because every single time that they make them, first of all, it takes them a long time to make them. It takes them years to even think about pretending that they even want to kind of make them. And on the other hand, like the laws that they're making, not shutting down this guy at all, Godspeed. Keep doing what you're doing. The point is that by the time that we do get any type of regulations in any country, the crypto space has already dramatically changed, and it's kind of not the same exact thing. So not even the major thing that was happening in 2017, which surprised everyone, is that Bitcoin could be hard forked, and therefore someone could copy the code and create a new coin. The other thing that they're also not paying attention to is that most of these things, especially ICOs, have already moved into a completely different jurisdiction. And they're also now people are just simply doing airdrops as well. And it's like, now we have to wait another 7 years for an airdrop law that'll probably never end up happening because no one knows what an airdrop is. And they're going to take a very long time to even figure out if this is going to continue to be a thing. The point is, and I mean this, and I try to stay away from things like this, but I'm not the only one who thinks so. And it's not even like I'm saying this as like a revolutionary. It's futile at this point to think that they can continue to control things, or that they continue to make bills and laws or any type of restrictions against cryptocurrencies. There's a reason why cryptocurrencies has thrived over the last 9-10 years without any rules or regulations. Even the stuff that they're putting into place is usually only going to be for, this is why a lot of times when we do end up hearing stuff like this, this isn't for poor people. I'll say it right out. This safe harbor for taxpayers with forked assets, this isn't for someone who owns 1/1000th of a Bitcoin, or someone who has half a Litecoin. This is for very rich people. A lot of the stuff that we see being created is geared towards institutional investors, and this is usually who they only end up caring about in the first place, because when it comes down to it, it's all about AML, KYC, and usually they only care about the know your customer and anti-money laundering for people who have the potential to be able to send $500 billion, $500 billion around the world in the snap of a finger. But the crazier part is that these people can still, in their own right, just buy a new computer. They can buy 10 computers, separate their cryptocurrencies across those 10 computers, and use and spend their money as they already see fit. This is the world that we already live in. So it's nice of them to try to do something like this, but it's not, I mean, it's such a ridiculous, weird space, because they've been so adamant for giving regulations, but there have been no regulations across the board. Like, even other countries who have given some type of regulation is usually very faint. It's like, well, let us know your name. Maybe we'd like your address. Can you please tell us at the end of the year how much you made from crypto? And it's like, this is why I mean, a lot of you probably weren't here back then. There was a situation a year or two ago where the IRS came forward and they were like, I think like 0.5% of all people who held crypto within the US actually came forward and paid any taxes on it. Because anyway, that's happening. I've gone off on a tangent again, but it's very odd. Like, if you're gonna give regulations, just do it. Don't wait 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But I'm confident by the time that the SEC, the CFTC, or the IRS stop playing rock, paper, scissors amongst themselves and decide to actually controls or rules over cryptocurrencies, within the next 2 years, it's going to be a completely different space. We're going to have so many new things in the cryptocurrency space that they won't even probably begin to understand, and they'll think, okay, we need laws for this. We gotta start doing something. And then by that point, another 5 years from then, everything will be so decentralized that you'll be able to simply just whatever. Anyway, alrighty. Yeah, moving on. Next up, crypto asset dealer SFOX, that is San Francisco Open Exchange, is partnering with My Safra Bank to offer its traders and investors federally insured accounts to hold their funds. The move empowers institutional investors or rich people and other traders to carry out faster cryptocurrency transactions and meet custodial obligations. The partnership marks the first time that the FDIC has interfaced with a crypto asset prime dealer. For those who don't know what the FDIC is, if you have a bank account within the United States, you definitely know what the FDIC is. You walk in, there's signs everywhere. You are normally FDIC insured. Up to, it used to be $100,000. Now I believe it's $250,000. Pretty much any money that you have inside of your bank account, if it disappears, if it blah, 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 turns into dust, the FDIC will insure you for your money that you lost, and they will, in essence, give it back to you. Operating as an agency of the U.S., maybe it says it even right here, FDIC provides insurance for account deposits. There we go. It has become a point of competition among banks and financial institutions as customers expect their funds to be protected against losses. SFOX targets institutional investors, including crypto, hedge funds, and family offices moving large amounts of capital. Once again, there we go. Approved customers will benefit from the FDIC insurance up to $250,000, like I said, in accounts that are not commingled with other SFOX accounts. based in New York. Oh, really? Okay. My Sarah Bank will hold the segregated accounts in customers' names, reducing counterparty risk and facilitating easy access to crypto markets. I'm surprised that it's in New York. Everything is anyway. Very nice, very cool. Once again, only for very rich people. There's such a huge the crypto space that we knew many years ago no longer exists. Everything in this space, this is why I hold steadfast and I refuse to sell any of my cryptocurrency. It's a place that's just going to be for the rich, and I've heard the arguments. I've heard people talking about it. Exactly what you think is going to happen is going to happen. A lot of people were saying, well, if all the rich people are buying up the cryptocurrencies, won't they be the richest people in the world? They're already the richest people in the world, and this is why I do what I do to make sure that normal people, air quotes, myself included, understand what crypto is and at least try to hold as much as they can, because all of this stuff that's happening behind the scenes, the FDIC allowing, they're expecting a world where, I'm expecting a world where the very rich are going to be the richest people in the entire world. Once again, keeping in mind, we're expected to see our first trillionaire on this planet sometime within our lifetimes. It is widely believed that they are probably going to be a cryptocurrency owner, holder, investor, whatever the actual case might be. Yeah, let's move on. In what might be the weirdest story of the day, crypto regulation is not a priority for the Russian government since cryptocurrencies have lost their popularity. This was said by the Russian Prime Minister, is what he recently argued. Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev's comments were reported by Russian news agency Fontanka on the 16th of May. According to Medvedev, cryptocurrencies are not that interesting for the population anymore, which decreases the need for the adoption of crypto regulations. He said the popularity of cryptocurrencies has decreased so far, which likely makes the regulation issue not that relevant already. Speaking at an annual international judicial forum on the 15th of May, Medvedev noted that the problem was widely discussed at a previous forum in 2018 when he argued or urged the government to legislate at least some basic crypto terms. While hype around Bitcoin has dropped, there is still an opportunity for crypto markets to rally, the Prime Minister reportedly concluded. The news came amidst the first major bull run of the price going from 4,000, 8,000, 45 days. Price is up, yada, yada, yada. Kind of weird. Like I said, a little odd. I expected something a bit more harsh from Russia. That is not me praising Russia or saying, yay, Russia's the greatest. It's more like they keep discounting the cryptocurrency space. I feel like logically, in my opinion, I've mentioned this before. I can attest to this. Rich people know other rich people. I'm pretty sure that the Prime Minister of Russia probably knew or has heard about other major institutions getting into the cryptocurrency space. So for him to announce that crypto popularity has decreased and it's not really that interesting anymore, and therefore there's no need for regulations within the country, kind of, it could be two things. It could be that he really believes this, or he is saying stuff that is not completely true, because it's very clear to me over the course of 2018 and even the beginning of 2019 that there are billions of dollars worth of capital that have flowed into cryptocurrency, whether they be over the counter or even just from people building new types of infrastructure, or major world banks or central banks and or stock exchanges who are also getting into the cryptocurrency space. I don't know. I think it's kind of weird. I don't know what to really make of it, to take from it. It's the same exact thing like that other guy in that other country, can't remember which country, who noted, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, that he thought that crypto was dead. He was like, oh, I don't know that crypto was still a thing. Maybe they just live in their own world. Maybe they just live in their own bubble and they really don't understand that anything is happening with cryptocurrencies. The longer they take to actually do anything, the stronger cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, becomes. Like every day that the ledger exists and the more people get into the network, and the more decentralized it becomes, the more difficult it is to even think about controlling Bitcoin. At this point, it's almost mathematically impossible unless you have an enormous amount of capital. Anyway, yeah, that's what he said. As of right now, prices are kind of, where you would expect them to be. I think we were I think at 8,000 yesterday, something like that. So prices aren't really doing too bad. Ethereum still over 200. People are calling for a $400 Ether relatively soon. XRP is just below 40 cents. I think everyone is waiting for some little type of uptick. I'm waiting to see if this is the week where Fidelity is going to launch or announce their launch, because they said this a couple of weeks ago. They said that within weeks they would be launching their actual trading platform. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up announcing it today. Would be kind of cool. We'd definitely see some price movements. The price everyone is waiting for right now is a $10,000 Bitcoin, and I think we are going to hit that relatively soon. Once again, that's just my opinion. No charts, no... I've noticed a lot of people in the comment section, and I know that they're new people, or I know that they're just like fake accounts. Believe me, like I can tell. People get upset when I like talk about like where I think the prices are going. I'm sorry that my channel does not please you. I apologize that the numbers that come out of my mouth are not what you want to hear. It's fairly obvious at some point in the future we're going to see a $10,000 Bitcoin. You can argue all you want. I can't help you. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. They are Professor Wally from Gunbot University, SC Verzely Fine Art, Crypto and Beer Shipmate, Brady Niels, L. Doug, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, Shaolin Fried Rice, Gil, Boa Snake, Crypto Joe, Mohair Maroney, Carl Birchenoff, singer-songwriter Mike Savitz, Rai, Yasha Harari, Amy Starsheen, Jeffrey Ramsey, Crypnotic, Clara T. Snowden, Crypto Artist Cole D3D, Nicholas One Earth, One Piece One Love, Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich the Third, RF Dusty, Cody, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Jeremy Fox, Jim Gardner, Minting Coins, Arthur Yaku, Nick Mangialavori, and Anthony Charles. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. I hope you had an incredible weekend. I don't know if you can tell. I may sound tired. I'm exhausted. I keep thinking that I can just hang out all day and stay up for 19, 20, 21 hours and do what I want. Nope, that's not life anymore. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. And I will most certainly be talking to every single one of you soon. See you.